for? Why were you invited? Well, this is the X39, the stem cell activation patch. And I learned about this about 3 years ago. And what was going on with me is I was really sick with stage 3 breast cancer. I don't know if there's anybody out there on the call tonight that has something chronic happening in their life, but it's hard when it happens. Or maybe you know somebody you love that's had something crazy happen. Well, for me, it was that. And I did 9 months of radiation, chemo, and a double mastectomy. I probably made some poor choices, but sometimes that happens. And what happened at the end of all of it is 6 months later, a piece of breast cancer just pops back out. Can you even imagine? Well, I was like really, really depressed. And that is when my good friend, Dr. Rhonda Donahue, brought me the X39. And she brought me, if you can believe, 10 of them. And literally, I don't know if you guys have seen these, but if you look at it, it looks like a Band-Aid. And I literally said, I'm dying of breast cancer and you brought me a Band-Aid. And she said, but Marcy, it's so much more. When you look inside is organic crystal. And it turns out that we radiate a low-grade infrared light. And when you put this patch on your hand, it reflects back a light wave. In fact, there's a big name for it, photobiomodulation. You see, she was a doctor. And she said, that's light making change in your body. And what this patch does is it activates a peptide called GHK copper peptide. And that peptide activates your stem cells, makes more stem cells, and resets your stem cells to a younger, healthier state, like makes them young again. And I said to her, well, that's really interesting, but I didn't really understand what it means. So I said, well, why is that important to me? And she said, well, because when you're 30, you've lost 50% of your stem cells. And by the time you are 65, you've lost almost all of them. And she said, and here's the deal. Stem cells are the only cells in your body that are changeable. They can change into whatever cell your body needs for repair. And that's what it did when you were 20. And then she got me with this. She said, did you have gray hair when you were 20? I said, no. She said, did you have wrinkles when you were 20? I said, no. She said, did you have breast cancer when you were 20? I said, no. She goes, what if we could activate your stem cells to repair you again like you were 20? And then she said this. She said, you see, this is what's going on. Stem cells are like hummingbirds. They search for inflammation in your body. And then they go to it, and then they turn into the cell you need to repair it. And then it marches to the next place, and the next place, and the next place. She goes, let's just go activate your army. And then she looked at me and she goes, I'm giving you 10. You got nothing to lose. And she was right. I had nothing to lose. So I put it right below the back of my neck. And she said, there's only one rule. 12 hours on to activate and repair, and 12 hours off. Let me say that again. 12 hours on to activate and repair, and 12 hours off. She goes, put it right below the back of your neck or under your belly button. Really, any spot will do because your whole body's light. The only rule is 12 hours on and 12 hours off. Because if you wear it 24 hours at a time, your body gets used to the signal and it doesn't work so well. So that made sense to me. I decided, let me do it. And then guess what happened? I wore it behind the back of my neck. I almost forgot it was even there. And I remember I was going to Oregon. I live in California and my girlfriend lives in Oregon, and I was going to her daughter's wedding. And I remember being at that wedding, all of a sudden the taste of chemo metal started coming out of my mouth. And I'm like, oh my God, I've never tasted chemo metal before. What is that? And then I hit my neck. I'm like, oh, that darn patch. It's detoxifying that out of me. And that happened for 2 days. And then it was gone. Day 5, my skin got super soft. I think it was rebuilding my collagen. But by day 10, it's when my life changed. I felt 20 again. I just felt good. I didn't know if I was living or dying of breast cancer, and I didn't care because I felt so good. And I wanted to make a list and share it. So I called my friend Dr. Rhonda and I said, I don't know what you just gave me, but I feel good and I want to share. That was 3 years ago. And now we've helped heal over 40,000 people. And it's pretty special. Oh, and I've been in remission again for 2 years. So, you know, you just never know. Oh, I'll show you my before and after picture. This is how you know how bad it was. Can you see that? That was before and after. That's pretty bad. I'll see if I can find the before and after picture when you guys are all talking. But that is the X39, and life is so good. And that's why I'm here today, is because maybe there's someone here that needs this, or someone that you love that needs this. And that's why we're here talking about it. So with that, do we have someone that would like to share their story?